They train. They focus. They push through the pain to master their sport and compete at the highest levels. Olympians are dedicated and skilled athletes. But these are ferrets, so they mostly just fling their little noodle bodies at things and hope for the best. I love challenging these little rascals to master new skills. It's fantastic enrichment and can help them develop talents that ferrets aren't born with naturally, like grace, elegance, and the ability to not fall off everything.
No!
So to celebrate the Olympics, I set up some events to challenge their speed, intelligence and balance. We're calling it the Floofympic Games, because I don't want to get sued by the International Olympics Committee. It's also not going to be as weird as Paris 2024. Well, unless you think ferrets are weird.
Zoro!
Let's meet the athletes. Wriggles and Scruffles are 4 years old, so pretty mature in ferret terms. They've been with me since they were little kits, and we've spent a lot of time learning tricks, like balancing on my arms and standing up for a treat.
Good girl!
Scruffles is swift on her feet and an excellent climber.
What are you doing up there?
She's driven by an insatiable curiosity and the need to protect her squeaky toys, whatever the cost. Wriggles is more motivated by balls and treats. She's the smallest of the group and specialises in getting through gaps she really shouldn't be able to get through.
Oh gosh.
Luffy and Zoro are 3 years old. They joined us last year from a rescue centre, so haven't benefited from years of balance training. Luffy was likely born a stray and is highly motivated by food. He quickly learned to stand up for treats, but his bigger body makes him reluctant to practice balancing on my arms. Zoro is even bigger than Luffy and has the added challenge of only one eye, which affects his depth perception and balance. He also learnt to stand up for treats pretty quickly,
You're so cute.
but is cautious on unfamiliar terrain.
Good boy.
Today our athletes will be competing in 3 events. The 5-metre lawn sprint will challenge their speed. The obstacle race will challenge their cunning. And the balance beam will challenge them to overcome their fear and perform tricks on a narrow plank. Which ferret will excel in each event, and who will be the overall winner? Cheer on your favourite in the comments below, and why not give the subscribe and like buttons a boost while you're down there? You know you want to, and it really does help this channel. On with the sports.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Floofympic Games. Today's event, 5-metre lawn dash.
In the 5-metre lawn dash, each competitor will have 5 runs, with the best time being taken as their race time. I'm using a combination of treats and toys to motivate them, but who is the fastest ferret? Luffy took his time on the first run, but soon realised there was a reward at the end, and his sprints got faster and faster.
Good boy.
The final run looked set to be a stunner, but he got distracted by the camera, turning in a still impressive time of 4.94 seconds. Zoro had no clue. He obviously couldn't hear the treats rattling, so I ran back to catch his attention and finally got him moving. But toys and treats made little difference. Zoro was just doing his own thing. Final time, 25.20 seconds.
You're rubbish.
Scruffles was instantly motivated by the squeaky toy. The bonus of a treat was just a side quest for her. Each run was as good as the next, and she celebrated by burying her face in Brian's, poppet hole? Final best time, 4.50 seconds. Can Wriggles knock Scruffles off the winner's pedestal? Her first run wasn't terrible, but she wasted a lot of time sniffing from side to side. Once she realised there were treats at the end, she was all about the race. But that digger's body was no match for the speed of her sister, and she ended in 3rd place with a respectable time of 5.99 seconds. That means the standings for the 5-metre lawn dash are Scruffles 1st, Luffy 2nd, Wriggles 3rd, and Zoro on another planet in 4th place. So at the end of the first race, the leaders board looks like this. Next up is the obstacle race, a challenge run filled with tight spaces and shiny distractions. Each ferret will get 1 chance to make it to the end as quickly as possible. Who will stay focused on the challenge? And who will fall into the many traps? Let's find out.
Go.
Wriggles was first on the course, and she was surprisingly reluctant to tackle the bamboo bars.
Wriggles! Here. There you go. Good girl. Good girl.
But with a little direction, she saw a gap and squeezed through with ease. Next is the tunnel of confusion. 3 ways in and only 1 way forwards. Will she pick the right tunnel?
Is it going to be the way out? Oh, I'm lucky!
She looked so confused to be back where she started.
Come on, Wriggles!
But the second time was a charm for her. She breezed past the distractions of the side quest section, but as we all know, Wriggles' biggest weakness is balls.
The ball pond, though. Oh, distracted by the balls? Not much.
With only 1 obstacle between her and the finish line, she hesitated at the water jump, but eventually hopped over to turn in a decent time of 2 minutes and 12 seconds.
Go!
Scruffles was next. She was also put off by the bamboo bars and seemed more interested in sniffing them than passing through them.
Come on, you can work it out. Come on, you can do it. That's it.
After wasting a lot of time, she finally picked a route through the maze, and it was decision time.
Yay! Tunnel. Oh no! To the back at the start.
Another athlete falls into the trap,
In the middle one.
but Scruffles wasn't taking any chances for her second try. Surprisingly, she completely ignored the side quest distraction section, which was filled with all of her favourite toys and stashables. But after giving the ball pond a quick sniff, she turned back to investigate further.
Scruffy! Scruffy!
Eventually I managed to get her back on track, and it was time for the water jump.
Come on, what's this? Good girl.
But instead of making the leap, she decided to rescue her rubber ducky. Rubber duck stashed, after refreshing herself with a quick drink, she finally made the hop to the finish line, with a final time of 5 minutes and 46 seconds. Next up, it was Luffy.
Go!
It was a strong start, being pushed along by the sound of the treat bag rattling. After being shown a route through, he conquered the bamboo bars, and it was time to tackle the tunnels.
Take a tunnel. He was straight over them.
He raced through the next few obstacles like they weren't even there, but the water jump pulled him up short. First for a drink, and then to be a big baby about getting his feet wet. But he soon realised he could easily hop over it, finishing with a decent time of 2 minutes and 39 seconds.
Well done.
The final athlete on the course was Zoro.
Go.
With all the new sniffs to be sniffed, there was no hurrying this ferret along. He is a bigger boy, so I'd removed a few of the bamboo poles to make it fairer, and he weaved his way through once I showed him the way.
Good boy. Yay, Zozo.
But despite giving the tunnels a jolly good sniff,
Which tunnel are you going to choose? Finally made his choice. No. I'm just going to go over the top as well.
he opted to go over the top like Luffy had. This saved him some time, but that was blown away moments later when he was fully distracted by the side quest trap.
Oh dear.
In typical Zoro style, he took his sweet time over the remaining obstacles.
Oh, there he is.
At last the finish line was in sight, but then Zoro did the most Zoro-like thing possible.
Oh, Zoro, this way.
He turned back to do the course in reverse.
Zoro.
Some intense treat rattling finally guided him back towards the finish, where I tried to persuade him the water jump wasn't a threat.
All you had to do is to step over that. Look.
He took a drink, played with the rubber duck, then headed back to the start again.
No, that's the wrong way.
After 8 minutes and 30 seconds of coaxing and cajoling, I had to admit defeat. Zoro scores a did not finish,
I'm in trouble.
putting him in last place for the obstacle race. Wriggles was fastest, Luffy a close second, and Scruffles coming in third place. With the obstacle race scores on the leaderboard, it looks like this.
Here we go, ladies.
For the final event, I set up a balance beam in the playroom and spent a couple of hours with each group practicing and gaining confidence on this carpeted plank of wood. My goal was to get them to stand up for treats on the wobbly plank, with their performances being scored on style and balance.
Good boy. It's all right, keep going.
The girls went first. They were nervous to begin with, and it took a few tries for them to figure out their balance. Using a combination of treats and toys, I encouraged them to be more adventurous.
Good girl.
And pretty soon they were running back and forth across the beam with no trouble.
Come on, Wriggles. Good girl.
Wriggles was first to gather the confidence to try standing up for a treat.
Careful. Stop on your hind legs. Come on. Good girl.
That's a solid score of 9.2 from our judges.
Well done.
Scruffles was next to step up for the challenge.
You can do it. Yeah. You can do it. It's all right.
So she's on the scoreboard with a decent stand-up, but I wondered if there was a way to boost her motivation levels even more. As much fun as this is to watch, the challenge was to stand up on the beam, which she did pretty well earlier. The judges scoring her a decent 8.6. It was finally time for the boys to shine, so after running off a little steam, I put them to the task of mastering the balance beam.
Good boy. Come on. Good boy. Keep going.
It took them a lot longer to find their balance, with Luffy being far more focused than Zoro.
Good boy. Good boy.
Eventually, Luffy felt comfortable enough on the beam to follow the treat out
One last try.
and stop, where he stood, frozen for a long time, staring longingly at it, just out of reach.
Good boy. You can do it. Come on. Oh. Come on, you can do it.
The sheer determination of that performance really warmed the judges' hearts, who awarded him an impressive score of 7.5, despite it only being a short stand-up. This puts Luffy in third place for the beam. So the pressure is on for Zoro to perform. He's had a terrible run in the game so far, and hasn't even made a score on the board yet.
Can you stand up at all?
It soon became clear Zoro was much happier on the floor.
Good boy.
And my tactic of using a chasey toy to motivate him was a disaster, as it just made him freak out. A lot of fun, but a predictable 0.0 from our judges, making the overall ranking for the balance beam look like this. And so we reach the end of the Floofympic Games, and what an event it's been. Our athletes have shown such skill and determination, and the final results look like this. Hang on a minute, I'm not having that. Zoro with 0 points on the board? Nah. So in true Olympics committee style, I am randomly changing the rules with no explanation to include a new event, floor gymnastics. There is only one competitor here because no one does this like Zoro.
Floating, weightless, under seas, diving, conscious, like a dream.
As the undisputed winner, he scores a well-deserved 3 points, which doesn't change the overall standings, but makes me feel much happier about the scoreboard. Congratulations to Wriggles, who wins the Floofympic Games with 7 points. Scruffles gets the silver in second place with 6 points, and Luffy in third with 5 points. Zoro might have come last, but I have a feeling he was just happy taking part. That's it from Floofland for today. If you're still here, you're a legend. Thank you. It would be great if you could give this post a bump with a like and a comment. We'll see you next time, Floof Crew.